Welcome to the channel. I'd like to share my thoughts with you today on Alaskan Road Truckers after having played the game for roughly a dozen hours on the PC and the PS5. I wrote some notes here while we're going to watch some no commentary gameplay footage of my own gameplay from my channel, just to have something in the background so my hands are free and I don't have to like drive and play and focus on what it is I'm trying to share with you. So right off the hop, the negatives, because we're going to leave on a high note. Controller has no steering sensitivity whatsoever, though you can change and reduce the sensitivity by selecting Alaskan or American style controller. Okay. There is no force feedback settings for the steering wheel on console, and it's quite strong when you're steering the wheel. There's no force feedback for bumps in the road or engine effects and all that sort of stuff, feeling all the little nooks and cranny when you're driving through the steering wheel on the console. But it's implemented on the PC version. So I felt that was important to mention. And when it comes to sensitivity and all that, even when you're using a controller on console, despite the fact that it says, do you want the vibration for all features, which I have all features on, because you could choose like road effects, engine, so on and so forth, I don't feel anything through there. So for me, it's just superior in that regards on the PC. There's no fast travel whatsoever, not even to the HQ, because it could take you quite a long time, and there's only one headquarters as far as I know in the game. And it could be very discouraging at times to want to drive back there, especially with the glitch of your hood ornament and your visor always reverting, even though you've applied a different one that you've purchased. That happens to me quite often. The grinding out of XP to unlock customization or repairs at your headquarter, or anything else, I personally think is long. You may not find it to be long, but it's definitely not something you're going to get in just a couple of hours. It's not 60 FPS. Considering the lower tier graphics, you'd expect better performance. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a moment. So it does run at about, I want to say, 40 or 45 FPS on the console. And the anti-aliasing quality on the PS5 is at least the equivalent on PC to high. It's not medium. Medium is quite jagged. I tried high anti-aliasing on PC, then I went back to the PS5 and I was like, yeah, this feels like it's on high settings. So the performance on PC is actually, the performance on the PlayStation 5 is actually pretty good considering, and I'll try to elaborate on that in just a moment. Every time I reboot the game, I've already talked about that now, the hood ornament and the sun visor keep reverting to default. Traveling to fix it's a long pain in the ass. I've already shared that. The paint job and the rims retained, they don't seem to reset. So those are part of the glitches that are pain in the ass. Then I talk about how the PC optimization is not great in my opinion. And that's true because I have quite an expensive computer that I just put together in the last few years. It's technically much more capable than my PlayStation 5, but my PlayStation 5 is able to run this game much better. I have a Ryzen 7 5700G CPU, 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, and an RTX 2070 Super. On medium settings, I can just run this at 30 FPS with anti-aliasing on high, and I tend to get a little bit more stutters on my PC than I do on the PS5, but it happens so quickly, it doesn't really deter from the gaming experience. Another thing that's lacking on the PC that's really interesting, and there's the lack of shortcuts for the cameras. And what I mean by that is you have 4 different camera angles by default. Inside, first person, third person far, and then like on the side of your truck. On the PC, you're forced to actually have to cycle through all of them. Click, 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 back to the center. You go out, click, 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 back to inside or wherever it is you want to be. Whereas on the console, you can shortcut, like square down, I'm inside the cockpit. Square up, I'm the furthest away. Square left, I'm the one that's close but still outside. So you can hand pick what camera view you want. I wasn't able to do that on the PC, which I thought was pretty screwed up. Now let's talk about some positives, shall we? Maintaining the truck requires buying parts from stores that you can either repair yourself or at a shop or at your headquarters once you upgrade the mechanic skill tree and you purchase it at your headquarters at a reduced cost. I think that that's pretty cool. You can get out of your truck. You got to manually attach the cables to the trailers, walk into stores and buy food.
In just 2 weeks, I lost 36.
No one cares. I'm not even going to have, whatchamacallit. Anyways, ads playing halfway through this. All right, I got distracted there. You have to eat, sleep, manage your health. Very light RPG mechanics. You go to the kitchen, cook yourself some fish. You got a microwave in your truck. Just those little added touches that really adds to the immersion of the game. Fuel is pumped manually. You got to get out. You got to pre-select how much gas you want to put in the truck. Then you pick up the nozzle. You walk up to the truck. You put it in. You got to wait. And then you can watch on the actual gas pump your fuel filling up, and then it'll stop once you're done with how much gas that you prepaid. I thought that was cool. The physics are nice in the sense of when they work. When you damage your truck, not that you're going to see physical damage, so you could like go head to head with an 18-wheeler. You're not going to see any physical damage. Not that I saw any. But it might take longer to brake as your brakes get worn out. The steering wheel might act up a little bit if just your truck gets damaged, you know what I mean? Your trailer might drift if you're not careful on the snow or in the rain. So that sort of stuff is really good, but the overall experience for me is still very much enjoyable. However, I gotta say, if you've got a computer that's better than mine, and not to nitpick, but I'm gonna do it, American Truck Simulator, for me, looks better. It's a game that I simply prefer. Whether or not it's better, that's subjective. But it performs much better. I could play Destiny 2, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Fallout 76. Not the best, but at like 45 FPS, I could turn down some things to run at 60. Hell, I could run Red Dead Redemption 2 on high settings at 60 FPS, okay? That shit looks a lot better than this. So that's why I say, hey, it's not optimized that well. It's not optimized that well. It's because people with these shitty-ass welfare computers will often say it's not well optimized. It's like, okay, you got a computer from 2007, bitch. It's time to upgrade. This is not what it is in my case because I can run all these games much, much better that are much more demanding. This one's more demanding because it's not properly optimized. So with that said, if you have a capable computer of playing this at 60 FPS, which at 30, I have to admit, is actually pretty decent. It's not very stuttery at all. I would advise you play this game on the PC because it has better wheel support. Like I said, for the force feedback when you're driving over the roads, you have the potential for the game to look a little bit better, to have some slight less pop-ins. Being able to turn it up on Epic. But it's mainly for the steering wheel. And if you're a hardcore trucker and you have a computer that's capable and you love your American Truck Simulator, then you don't have to unplug your steering wheel from the PC to the PS5 and back and forth, which is what I have been doing. So now I've done it to where the steering wheel to me is dead. Like I said, the force feedback is super tough. I don't feel anything through the steering wheel, so I'm saying piss on it. When it comes to the PS5 version, and I want to lay back in my Batman chair, lazy boy, I'm going to use this because the controller is actually pretty decent. It's pretty decent.
Is there a hidden camera spying on you right now?
Well, there could be, and I don't care. It's not like I'm naked. A bunch of perverts. Yeah, so I'm going to leave the steering wheel connected to my PC. That way I can just hop into American Truck Simulator. I can hop into this game. And in the future, when I upgrade and I can run this at 60 FPS, there's just absolutely no way I'm going to want to be able to find myself wanting to play the PS5 version, with all due respect. I'm just not going to really want to do that. But I still might occasionally. So in the end, this whole like, well, do Do I buy the game? Do I recommend it? Well, that's a personal opinion, because if you're able to play a game that's around 40 or 45 FPS that doesn't have force feedback on the steering wheel, or you're going to use your controller, not really feel anything through it at all whatsoever, except maybe your Parkinson's that's acting up, the game is not a AAA title priced game. It is much cheaper on PC as well, like much cheaper. Like I'm talking $17 Canadian, $12 or $13 American at times on the PC. I would say at that price, it's a no-brainer. I don't care if you're heavy into American Truck Simulator. This game is different enough from American Truck Simulator, from Euro Truck Simulator, that it deserves a spot in your gaming list, in my opinion. And again, if you're on PS5 and you don't really play on PC, then just remember those negatives and positives that I pointed out, and then you decide whether or not you should get the game. Because if you're itching for a trucking game like this, or American Truck Simulator, they're different, but I still clump them in the same goddamn category, right? They're a lot closer to each other than comparing hockey to fucking football, okay? I would say that you're probably going to enjoy yourself, and I would like to think as time goes on, the game is going to improve. They're going to patch it up, do some stuff. If they were to add the force feedback settings to the steering wheel with the features of feeling to rumble through the wheel when you're hitting little bumps in the road and all that kind of stuff, a fast travel system, some slightly better optimization on the PC and on PS5 to get rid of those stutters, because it's very GPU intensive on the PC, then this game could be that much better. Things like the lack of customization for the truck I can't speak on, although I've seen a few people mention it, because I think later on when you deep dive into the customization, you can do further customizations that I'm not aware are even in the game. You might be able to change your steering wheel, and I don't know, so I can't comment on that. So overall, for the genre, a great addition to American Truck Simulator, despite there being more negatives than positives that I've pointed out. Again, your mileage may vary, because you may have a monster computer that's going to run this bitch at 60 FPS, 120 FPS on the computer, and you're going to have like no issues, and then good for you. It's just too bad that you needed a $3,500 computer to run this game that my $350 PlayStation runs better. Okay? So thumbs up if you liked the video. I mean, it does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up on the internet. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. I'll bend it in half, twist it, and I'll break off that horn inside of your rectum. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that would be great now, wouldn't it? But if not, trust me, I get it. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll see some of you in the next video, and I may actually tweet this out. That's right, I'm not posting it on X. I'm tweeting it on Twitter. It's going to be Twitter until my last dying breath. I will bring these negatives with them so that the parody's the same. The lack of shortcuts for camera angles on PC, the lack of steering sensitivity with the controller, and the lack of force feedback settings on the wheel for console. Those top three things, to me, are priority for this game to get catapulted into greatness. Take care, and until next time, bye for now.